Hello there, Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Halloween Horror Month, and it is a retro rewind time once again. Today, we are talking about Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Excuse me. The episode Nightmare in Retroville, which is where they are located in the show. So, this is bugging me. I feel like I'm gonna. Maybe a little too much. I don't know. It still feels like I'm cut off. I don't. All right. There's another one I used to watch all the times on the tape. So, VHS tape that I had. So this episode involves, Jimmy thinks he's getting too old for trick-or-treating. So instead, Carl and Sheen are gonna go out, and Jimmy's gonna get 50% of their candy. He said 25, but Sheen, he's a business deal maker, so he says 50. Because Sheen's an idiot. And so he uses his new costume machine to make them a werewolf and a vampire. But it turns out he made them a real werewolf and a vampire. And then Jimmy's dad somehow gets involved as a Frankenstein's monster. So, yeah, Sam would say. Yes, so we start out with them. I don't know, are they in school? I don't remember how this episode starts. But they're talking about Halloween and trick-or-treating, and Jimmy's like, I think I'm too old to trick-or-treat. But what about you two? And Carl's gonna be Llama Boy for the umpteenth time. And Shane can't be Ultraman again because his costume broke because he wears it. Because it's weird, because he lists 3 times that they air it on one day. And then the next day, 3 different times. You think they would air it the same times each day? I don't get why they're different times. I don't know. But 3 times each day, though. He wears it all the time, and he wore it out. So he loves Ultraman, in case you don't know. Tell me something I don't know. I opened my mouth kissed a horse once. What? That's something you don't know. Anyway, so Jimmy's like, hey, I created this costume-inator. Sorry, the Doofenshmirtz going out there. A costume creating machine that can turn you into whatever creature monster you want. And he's like, okay, I have a whole bunch of these costumes, so let's start. A vampire. Or a werewolf. Ooh, I want to be a werewolf. 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 But there's more costumes. I don't care, Jimmy. It's always been my dream to be covered in hair. Wait till puberty, my boy. But, see? My son keeps making fun of me because I have so much hair. I said, just wait. This is in your future. It's in your genes, boy. Oh, he's like, okay, I might have all that here, but nothing there. Nah. I got a bald spot. So what? So yes, Gene is going to be a werewolf. And then we gotta pick a costume for Carl. I like to say it like that. For Carl. Carl. By the way, I'm gonna say this. Jimmy Neutron is voiced by Debbie Derryberry. Beat that, nostalgia critic. Apparently it was so hard for him, and I'm sitting here going, Debbie Derryberry, Debbie Derryberry, Debbie Derryberry, Debbie Derryberry, Debbie Derryberry. Why was it so hard for him to say Debbie Derryberry? I'm constantly saying it. Debbie Derryberry, Debbie Derryberry, Debbie Derryberry. Come on. Carl is voiced by the man, the myth, and the legend. I can see his face. He was Raphael in the original Ninja Turtles cartoon. He's Yakko Warner. He's PJ. Tip of my tongue. Tip of my tongue. And I can't get it. It bugs me when I have to do this because I just... Why don't it tell me? Cached. Yeah. I gotta go to a whole other page to find out the cast. Why? Debbie Derryberry. Rob Paulson. He also plays Doppy Doppweiler. Who is Doppy Doppweiler? He's a main cast member in the last 3 seasons, apparently. Or Doppy... What am I looking at? Planet Sheen? Doppy Dopp... Oh, is that the... Because I never really watched Planet Sheen. Found it annoying. Is that the gooey Carl lookalike character? Is that what that's supposed to be? Okay. And Sheen is Jeffrey Garcia. Carol Lawrence is Cindy Vortex. Frank Welker is Goddard. Who am I looking for? King Woobot. Just keep it. I'm looking for the guy who goes, yeah. I believe that's Billy West. Does that voice? I just can't. Sam. Yeah, Sam. Yeah. He frequently says, yeah, at the end of his sentences. Yeah. Yeah, I am. That's Billy West. Yeah. Alright. Enough with that. So, after he turns them into monsters and they go trick or treat, Hugh stumbles into the secret laboratory because it's easy to just fall into it. He finds the machine thinking it's a game show, spins the thing, and, oh, what's this lever do? Pulls on it. And we find out later he becomes a Frankenstein monster. Also, beginning episode, he's watching a movie called Octopus Man. And it's a squid. Yeah, because the creature at the beginning, if I'm remembering correctly, hold on, I can pause, I can mute this, and I can play it to show myself. No. It's going to start over again. But, I swear, at the beginning of this, they show a beak on the thing. That's a squid, not an octopus. Octopuses don't have beaks. Squids do. Octopuses don't, as far as I know. But yeah, he's watching that Octopus Man, and I'm trying to figure out what that's supposed to be in equal to. Is he got a werewolf? Dracula. Yeah, it's not vampire, it's Dracula. That's what it is, Dracula. And Carl wants to be Dracula because there's a cape, and he wants to wear a cape. So, yeah, I'm going to skip this. And it goes to another ad. Oh, thank you very much. Anyway, so, yeah. And wouldn't you know it, Mrs. Neutron is dressed like the Bride of Frankenstein's monster. Because Bride of Frankenstein makes no sense whatsoever, but like the Bride of Frankenstein, this is a monster. Yeah. But soon, Jimmy realizes, uh-oh, he done messed up. Because Carl turns into a bat and flies away, and then the moon comes out and Sheen howls and runs off. Problem. If Sheen is supposed to be a real werewolf, then he should not have turned until the moon came out. They should be confused as to why Sheen's costume didn't work. But, no. I don't know what it's supposed to do. So now, he has to try to stop them from causing problems, apparently. Yeah. But, Carl finds Cindy. And, the Nightmare, A Nightmare in Retroville is the same font as A Nightmare on Elm Street. But it has nothing to do with Freddy Krueger. But anyway, Goddard. But anyway, so Yeah, it's about Halloween. Anyway, so Carl sees uh, Cindy, who is supposed to be a version of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like Buffy the Vampire Slapper or something like that. And yeah, the Carl's like, and he's like, oh, your neck looks very good this evening, because he has to do the voice, because Dracula. That's why he's Dracula, so he can do the voice. And she's like, oh, thank you. I'm like, look into my eyes, please. And he bites her off screen, and then Sheen finds Libby and turns her into a werewolf. And then you have Miss Fowl. So, Jimmy tried to find more information. So, he tells Goddard to give him information about vampires. So, you list off the basic thing. No garlic, no sunlight, and to kill them you have to drive a wooden stake through their stake through their heart. And as he goes to talk about, I'm doing it right, werewolves, we get the narration from Mrs. Mrs. Fowl, but she's dressed like Maleva from the Wolfman. So, where's the? They don't. Werewolf. I don't remember the. Hold on. Google. Why did it do that? The wolf man 1941 quote. And, even a man who is pure of heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolf's bane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. And I think I missed the clip anyway. So it doesn't. No, don't do that. I hit the wrong button. Hi. Yes. This is line spoken by Jenny Williams, a gypsy to Larry Talbot. Actually, it's Maleva, but okay. But yeah, she's dressed like Maleva, and she says that line. Even a man who is pure at heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolf's bane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. Says that line. And Jimmy goes, how do you know so much about werewolves? I was married to one. And it's not the end of her. Well, Hugh, as a Frankenstein monster, is going through town. The three monsters and the two that they've changed the 5 monsters, I guess, have incurred the wrath of the human people, including Sam, and the others, and Mrs. Fowl. It's the end of Frankenstein, where the mob is chasing him down and everything. Jimmy doesn't know what to do, but then he realizes, I have to use my machine, so he turns it to something. We don't see what. And just when you think it's all over, Jimmy arrives as Octopus Man, and he takes care of the monsters. And I do like how Sam's like, hey, I tried the line of Octopus Man, and they run away. I do like that. Billy West, you're the man. But anyway, yeah. And I love how Hugh, being that's his favorite monster, he goes, me love you. And I do like how they draw attention to how Frankenstein's monster walks. Need to wish I could walk faster. You know? But yeah. And he puts them all under the umbrella and turns them back. Although, how does that work for Libby and Cindy? Because they weren't turned by the machine, but they're bit by people that were whatever. I think it's fine. But they're like, oh, we dropped our candy when we turned into monsters, so what do we do? And I like how the mom and the dad don't even question. The dad doesn't question he was turned into a monster. The mom was mad at first because she ran off because he and Carl were fighting over Mrs. Neutron because Carl has a crush on her. So, and then she just comes. He's like, "Oh, where's my little sugar booger?" And she's like, "Right here." And she comes out with the. I'm like, that she's just letting go of the fact her husband was a hideous monster. I know it's Halloween, sure, but like, oh, we're not a vampire anymore. They're all like, hey, we're not monsters anymore. And Hugh just kind of lets it go. And the fact that their son is a giant octopus man. They're like, well, we don't have any candy. And he's like, I have an idea. So he goes trick-or-treating as the thing to every door because he's got 8 hands. Also, there's a 3-hour director's cut where he grows a 9th arm. A 9th tentacle or whatever. Okay. That he mentions that. A 3-hour director's cut. I don't think... It's supposed to be one of those old movies. I don't think that's how it works. But anyway. Yeah. And it ends with Jimmy going, trick or treat. Another classic episode with a capital C on both ends. It's very good. It's very good. But, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this episode? Leave a comment, so much like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.